Well, the entire month is built around Tree Live Crew winning the World Tag Team titles.
Cool.
So let's start. There's not much AMW this month. They face Siaki and Sieki and ECMO.
ECMO.
My favorite thing this month, honestly, is during that match when Siaki and ECMO are coming out. JB is introducing them, and he's like, "Introducing first, Sonny C. Eki."
Sonny CXV and ECMO.
I did miss this.
And he says it with such little confidence, because I think what happened was he started saying Siaki, but then pivoted to ECMO, so he's like, "C. Eki," and he loses all confidence in his voice, and it's so funny. I found it so funny, and I don't know why.
To be fair, that was a good interpretation of what this match would turn into as well, because it was all just very confusing.
It's weird to see like ECMO just working as a guy, where he's just a guy. Like Harris has thrown him around. He's doing backdrops, and like Harris isn't small, but like ECMO shouldn't be taking bumps like that. He's like the big imposing
The blight
guy.
of the athletic big man.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, because you can take a backdrop, so take it. Fine.
Yeah, I thought this match was well worked until the end and had a good little story, but I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, and Harris hit a great spear on ECMO for a great near fall. Crowd really bought that.
This finish was really weird.
So David Young comes out.
I meant the Trinity stuff. Trinity gave Harris a chair, which was like, okay, she's turning, but then she distracted the ref so he couldn't win.
Yeah.
It was just weird. Like, it didn't feel like it had any actual method to this madness.
It's just like, we want Trinity and Siaki to have dissension, so that's how we do it.
Even if it made zero sense. Like, she had no goal to what she was trying to do there.
Because like the idea was, I think she was meant to slide the chair into Siaki, but Harris got it.
But she just gave it to Harris instead.
She just slid it right in front of Chris Harris.
It was just a badly delivered story then.
Yeah, but then David Young came out, hit Harris from behind with the tennis racket, allowing Sonny Siaki to pin them and put them further out of tag team title contention.
David Young finally has friends.
Well, does he?
And so does Scott. All the boys are hanging out.
Scott Hudson?
Yeah. Hudson was hanging out with David Young and Gilberti and Swinger and Diamond. I was like, they're all the boys. They're all like celebrating together.
Sure, but at the point of that promo, he comes back to Gilbert. He's like, I did it. I took out AMW, and now we have our match against 3LK. And Gilberti's like, excuse me? We're wrestling 3 Live Crew?
I like David Young throwing a spanner into like the cohesive unit that this is.
Sure.
I like these segments. Do you really not like these segments? I don't like the matches, but these backstage segments are fun.
Like, I used to enjoy Diamond and Swinger. I like them as a credible, serious tag team. And the David Young stuff is them being comedy goofs, and I have less time for that.
As we know, Garrett, I'm a huge fan of comedy goofs, and I enjoy these guys.
Again, if you were having David Young do his own thing, being a comedy goof, I might be more on board with it. But the fact that he is dragging down Diamond and Swinger doing it, no.
Oh, well, you curmudgeon. This is actually fun and good.
But yeah, later in the show, 3LK defeated Glenn Gilberti and David Young to put themselves again further into World Tag Team title contention.
Well, you've seen my note on this match. Gilberti is jacked.
Oh, he is huge. Yes, he is a large man.
Like, hell of a body on this guy.
This man is doing very well for himself physically.
You understand why he was pushed in a wrestling business.
He does look aesthetically pleasing, I guess.
I want to feel his back. It's going to be my thing now.
Yeah, you've discovered your new fetish.
Yeah, I just want to feel people's backs and see how similar they are to horses' muscles.
Yeah, that's a very specific kind of fetish, but I'll allow it.
I never said it was sexual.
It can't not be sexual. I'm sorry.
Oh.
You cannot say, I want to feel your back and it not be sexual.
I disagree. A masseuse.
I don't know. It's a horny job.
The art of massage is inherently sexual.
It's inherently horny. Listen, I don't make the rules.
All right.
Yeah, Disco hits a people's elbow in this match. Who has a better physique here, Disco or The Rock?
Disco.
Yeah, it's fair.
Doesn't he have a name for it? It's like the Village People's elbow.
Yeah.
I learned that from Days of Thunder.
He does the YMCA thing before he hits it.
Yeah.
Which I don't think he did here.
The only reason I know that is because of Days of Thunder.
Yeah, I don't think he did it here, but he did used to do it that way.
That's fun.
For some reason, like, Killings won with a front suplex, and Don West was very confused, even though it was very clearly a 3 count.
Brainbuster.
Was it a brainbuster?
And no, I'm just justifying a front suplex getting a win.
No, it was a gourd buster.
Oh, I forgot this match.
So 3LK came out. The Siaki came out, demanded a title shot because they beat AMW. AMW were there. They were giving out about 3LK because tension between 3LK and AMW is the story of the month as well, as we built to this tag title change. And that leads to us on NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 71 or 70 flat. There's a gauntlet match between Ron Killings, BG James, Chris Harris, Sonny Siaki, CM Punk, James Storm, Glenn Gilberti, ECMO, and Julio De Niro to determine to Glenn Gilberti and David Young as well. They were in the match to determine the number one contender. The winner of the match wins number one contendership for his team. Ron Killings wins the match. 3LK are number one contenders. Yeah, the story is that Gilberti and Young were eliminated, but they came back out at the end of the match to cost James Storm the match, allowing Ron Killings to win. With the reoccurring story being that Diamond, Swinger, Gilberti, and Young are doing everything they can to keep AMW away from the tag titles. And maybe the team that they're allowing to become number one contenders will backfire against them.
It will. We've seen the month.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, later in that show, Hudson interviews 3LK. They're interrupted by AMW, who's like, oh, you got a title shot, but we're the best team in this company, and you know it, that kind of stuff. Or Scott Hudson turns to BG James for some reason to translate what Conan said.
Because BG knows.
Yeah, because there's a fun note. Conan got a tongue lashing from management on this show. He cut a promo where he used the Spanish translation of the word motherfuckers. Conan didn't count on Dutch Mantel's knowledge of Spanish from all the years working in Puerto Rico. So Conan's just been slipping curse words in all along, and suddenly Dutch is here. It's like, wait a minute.
He got away with it for so long. I wonder how many times he did this and then no one noticed.
Us ignorant people who don't speak Spanish as well didn't notice either. NWA-TNA pay number 71, we had the title match between 3LK and Diamond and Swinger, but earlier in the show, David Young runs up while they're doing an interview being like, hey, I got myself a match against Chris Sabin.
Wow.
Glenn Gilberti's like, what do you mean you're wrestling Chris Sabin? He's like, I can do tag teams, I can do X Division, I can do it all.
And they're like, no you can't.
He wants Disco to manage him in that match against Chris Sabin.
See, I liked it. It was fun.
So we do get that match, Chris Sabin versus David Young. Sabin beats him in like 2 seconds. Great match.
Perfect.
Perfect match. Pins him immediately.
I think I went 3 stars on it.
Just because it immediately ended.
I mean, it was perfect. It was literally perfect.
The only downside, they restarted it and had a longer match.
A slightly worse match, yes.
Which, of course, Chris Sabin also won.
Which I'm sure you were happy to see.
I liked it in that backstage promo when David Young ran in. Simon Diamond was just shouting, he's killing our heat!
Simon Diamond was pretty funny in that. And then Kid Cash ran through.
Oh, good. We'll talk about Cash and his weird story with Don Harris in a minute.
Your favorite.
How dare. They feel like they should be friends, not enemies. I'm just saying.
I feel like you should be friends.
Hey, leave me alone.
That could be your trios.
So Diamond and Swinger versus BG and Truth went to a no contest after Truth hit Swinger with a German suplex and both sets of shoulders were counted down. So that means the World Tag Team titles were for some reason held up.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I don't know. Like, what? Just shouldn't it be a draw and then go back to the champs?
Yeah. Or, well, to be fair, we have precedent for this if you remember, because there was the match where Styles and Lynn lost the belts in a similar way, where there's a double finish and the belts were held up. So like they've done this before, so it's not like this is without precedent.
I don't mind it if it has precedent set at least.
It's just a weird choice for me because the next week they do the 6-man tag. They do 3LK against Diamond Swinger and Gilberti, and 3LK win to win the tag belts. So why did you vacate the belts?
They were literally killing their heat.
Yeah. And it's actually funny, the Wikipedia page, it doesn't list the vacation. So the Wikipedia is wrong.
Get in there and edit.
Yeah, I should tell them. It's like, no, the titles were vacated, and then 3LK won them in the 6-man tag.
Oh, then we can get credited.
Oh, yeah, you've got to be kidding me as the source of that. Oh, we'll have to wait till the podcast goes up.
Very good.
But very weird choice that they went for vacating the belts here, and then the next week, 3LK do defeat Diamond Swinger and Gilberti to become the new NWA.
It kills the pop of having them win the titles.
Yeah, it's just because they didn't beat the champs. The champs just were stripped of the belts for no reason.
Weird.
Yeah, so then following week, NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 72, November 26th, 3LK do defeat Diamond Swing and Gilberti to become your new NWA World Tag Team Champions after AMW were on commentary for the match. David Young tried to interfere. They stopped him from interfering. They speared Gilberti on the outside. Then 3LK won the match, won the belts. AMW handed them the belts. And after weeks and weeks of dissension, there is mutual respect between AMW and the Tree Life crew.
Until they have to feud, I guess.
Yep. 3 Live Crew are your new tag team champions, which would have felt cool when they were a really hot, cool, fun stable like 2 months ago, but now they're like stone cold and I don't care.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's not just them, it's the whole company.
It's true. Everything is just extremely cold.